Honorable Speaker Say, the Honorable Prime Minister and Cabinet colleagues, the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Members of the House, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. Honorable Speaker Say, I rise to add my acknowledgements to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Fiji, Major General retired Chochi Konisi Konrate, for his gracious and inspiring address. His Excellency reminded us of how we have forged ahead as a nation, creating opportunities and empowering our people. He also reminded us that whichever side of the chamber we sit in, we are here to serve and progress the well-being of every Fijian without exception. His reassuring message should guide us in the decisions that we make in this August House. And I thank him for a timely message, especially coming 1 year into the second term of the Fiji Affairs government. Honorable Speaker Say, I wish to acknowledge Almighty God for the opportunity to serve our beloved nation in Parliament and as a Cabinet Minister. It is God's grace that has brought me this far and has enabled me to do my elected duty as a parliamentarian. I also extend my own acknowledgement to you, Say, as Speaker, and as a true statesman of Fiji. Your unwavering stance in upholding the principles of democracy deserves utmost respect. May Almighty God continue to bless you with great wisdom as you guide and manage the activities of this August House. Honorable Speaker Say, I also extend my most sincere gratitude to the Prime Minister, Honorable Josiah Burenge Bainimarama, for his unparalleled leadership. The fact is, since the Fiji First government was voted into power, it has opened so many doors of opportunities for all Fijians and ensured that we move away from any form of discrimination towards equal, fair, and just treatment for everyone, irrespective of ethnicity, religion, gender, age, or socio-economic background. Honorable Speaker Say, the Fiji First government has introduced numerous policies and legislation intended to modernize the economy, address good governance, influence global leadership in undertaking challenges such as climate change, and among other things, promote entrepreneurship in order to capitalize on emerging issues and opportunities. It has provided free education and more scholarship for our children, improve our health system and services, build more roads and jetties, provided electricity and water to places that never had access to these services before. Honorable Speaker Say, the Fiji First government has also brought the world closer to Fiji through digital connectivity. And importantly, from a natural resource perspective, the Fiji First government has and continues to set its minds towards achieving the critically vital balance between economic growth and sustainable resource management. Honorable Speaker Say, the government will continue to encourage economic and social development for all Fijians. No one will be left behind. That is the remarkable feat the Fiji First government continues to achieve, a legacy etched in our history for our future generations to emulate and build on. This unmatched achievement is only under the able leadership of our Prime Minister. Yeah. Honorable Speaker Say, in only the first year of government's current term, the Ministry of Forestry has made some notable progress and achievements with its work, which I wish to share. The Ministry of Forestry is taking a new strategic direction towards achieving real sustainable forest management. It is no longer treating forestry in isolation from the national interest, but through collaboration, integration, and developing synergies with key stakeholders to achieve our national development goals and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The strategy advocates sustainable forest management, in which forests and lands are utilized and developed in a way and at a rate that maintains their biodiversity, productivity, regeneration capacity, vitality, and the potential to fulfill relevant ecological, economic, and social functions at all levels. The Ministry of Forestry is part of the natural resource and land use sector, which is crucial for effectively addressing climate change, both mitigating and adapting to it. I believe that no other sector holds great potential for synergies to achieve both environmental and developmental goals. A major component of the Ministry's new direction is reflected in government's 3 new tree planting initiative. Honorable Speaker said on 8 January 2019, the President, His Excellency Major General retired Churchy Conrote, launched Fiji's 4 million trees in 4 years initiative at the State House. Since then, the people of Fiji and visitors, including the United Nations Secretary General and many other dignitaries, have contributed to planting an average of 100,000 trees per month. Honorable Speaker Say, I'm most honored to announce that Fiji has collectively planted 1 million trees and more than 250,000 mangroves within 10 months. And I wish to thank His Excellency the President for continuing to champion tree planting in virtually all the places he has visited around the country. This is one of the national initiatives that His Excellency continues to promote, including the reduction of non-communicable diseases and the increase in backyard gardening. Honorable Speaker Say, I also thank in particular the Wanoa and the landowners in all the provinces for giving their land and agreeing to partner with government in this tree planting initiative. I acknowledge the private sector, including numerous companies and financial institutions, the academic institutions, civil societies, organizations, faith-based organizations, international development partners, and individuals for their tremendous support. I wish to convey government's appreciation to all the people of Fiji for taking part in our national tree planting program. As the minister responsible for forestry, it is inspiring to see the people of Fiji developing a deeper understanding for an appreciation of the value of the trees and forests in protecting the environment, including our soils, water sources, and coastal ecosystem, addressing climate change, enhancing biodiversity, and increasing the opportunities for improved socio-economic development. Honorable Speaker Say, this tree planting initiative is also part of government's responsibility to our children and youth, the future of our beloved nation. It is part of our investment in our young people to ensure that they inherit a safe, prosperous, and sustainable country. We all know that without a habitable environment and planet for our children to inherit, or to leave behind a livable world, let alone to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, will be in vain. But by working together and finding common ground for the future of our nation and the world, we can and will win this greatest battle of our lives over climate change and leave a legacy we can all be proud of. Honorable Speaker Say, given the seriousness and the agency to address climate change, the Fijian government has now increased our tree planting target from 4 million trees in 4 years to 30 million trees in 15 years. This new target was announced by the Prime Minister, Honorable Voreqe Bainimarama, while attending the 2019 United Nations Climate Action Summit in New York in September. The increased target is part of Fiji's nature-based solution to the threat of climate change. This should also send a clear message that even though our carbon emissions are negligible, we are not going to wait for highly industrialized countries to take action and reduce their carbon emissions. Honorable Speaker say, Fiji's tree planting initiative follows on from Fiji's presidency of COP23. It is now part of Fiji's continued global leadership in the fight against climate change. As a new development, Honorable Speaker, Fiji also intends to monetize the stored carbon in our thriving and expanding forests and mangroves. This new development will result in more returns to the resource owners. Honorable Speaker say, it is in this respect that I wish to share another milestone achievement by the Fiji First government in as far as creating new opportunities for our people is concerned. I'm honored to inform this August House that the World Bank's Forest Carbon Partnership Facility has accepted Fiji's emission reduction program document. This document lays out the plan for Fiji to develop its capabilities to eventually trade in carbon. The preparation for this eventuality will require funding support over the next 5 years, and I'm happy to inform the House that the World Bank has accepted Fiji's ERPD into the FCPF Carbon Fund portfolio without conditions. This acceptance could see Fiji being the first small island developing state in the Pacific to access carbon and climate-related finance from the World Bank. Eventually, carbon trading could bring great benefits to our people and the environment, as this means that we could keep our trees standing while also earning some revenue. It is important to note that our tree planting initiative is not only aimed at addressing climate change and environmental concerns, but also at addressing Fiji's economic development needs. 80% of trees planted so far are commercial species like pine, mahogany, teak, and sandalwood. This is strategically designed to meet Fiji's timber demands from forest plantation. The remaining 20% of trees planted were native trees, apart from fruit and ornamental trees. The ultimate intention is to protect our native forests, so they in turn could protect our water sources and biodiversity. Additionally, it is crucial that we replenish the native species like dakua, vesi, yaka, among many others. And I'm happy to advise that the ministry is repositioning itself to coordinate this new planting target, starting from January 2020, when we will try to plant 2 million trees per year. We have allocated about 60% of our staff and both finances and assets like vehicles, specifically to achieve this new planting target. The ministry has 15 service centers around the country, where these stations were managed by 1 or 2 staff in the past. They will now be managed by an average of 8 to 10 staff each. In the first instance, this will mean that the ministry's presence will be felt in each of the provinces and across the entire nation. The ministry will continue to strengthen its presence according to the resources it is able to master. The increased staff will ensure that the ministry increases its own nursery capacity and also increase the community nurseries by establishing not less than 100 of these around the country. The ministry will train the communities, focusing specifically on women and youth groups to set up and manage their nurseries. We will certify these nurseries and monitor their operations. The communities could sell their seedlings as a form of economic empowerment for the women and youth. The increased staff in the stations will also better coordinate and mobilize the communities to plant trees. Each staff is being given a certain target of the 2 million trees per year. They are also being resourced with the ministry's existing vehicles to the extent that each station now has a new vehicle. We have also received computer tablets from the Fiji Bureau of Statistics to help our staff better capture their work, including plotting the planted areas and trees on Global Positioning Systems, or GPS. These are then mapped for monitoring purposes. Honorable Speaker said the reallocated staff will also significantly improve the monitoring of all harvesting and sawmilling licenses. No longer we will allow license holders to operate without close monitoring and supervision from the ministry, or for other illegal operations to take place in our forest. This is considered highly important, as we need to accurately capture the volume of logs harvested and the volume of timber products from each sawmill in order to have a better appreciation of the real value of our trees and forests, and to ensure the sustainable management of our forest resources. We need to also eradicate illegal activity, as these have resulted in losses to the resource owners and to the government. When government loses, the entire nation loses out on opportunities for development. Honorable Speaker said, my ministry also aims to support the forest industry through a number of initiatives. First and foremost, we are considering giving long-term licenses as a means to encourage the logging companies to better plan and implement their operations, which my ministry will monitor very closely to ensure they abide by Fiji's Code of Harvesting and to minimize the changes to our natural environment. The industry stakeholders will be encouraged through the review of licensing conditions to replant the areas they have harvested. They could also raise their own nurseries to complement Fiji's tree planting program. My ministry will soon launch the online application for licenses to enhance the ease of doing business in the forestry sector, where licenses used to take months and years to issue. This will now be shorter, provided the applicant fulfills the stringent guidelines, including conducting thorough environmental impact assessment, among other mandatory requirements. My ministry will review its legislation and policies to ensure, among other things, the conservation of forestry resources, transparency and fairness in issuance of forest harvesting licenses, whilst bringing the Fijian people into fuller and more active participation in socio-economic development at all levels. In addition, Honourable Speaker said, the Ministry of Forestry is considering options to facilitate a win-win outcome with equitable distribution of returns for all the stakeholders in the forestry sector. I repeat that the sustainable management of our forest resources is not limited to addressing climate change, environmental concerns, and biodiversity, but also to enhance Fiji's socio-economic development. Where it is considered sustainable for the harvesting of forest resources, the Ministry will ensure that fair returns are given to the shareholders. They include both resource owners and the forestry sector. Honourable Speaker said the Ministry also intends to invest in technology like drones to help monitor harvesting activities. Honourable Speaker said the reallocation of resource means that the Ministry has to establish improved relations with research institutions. Honourable Speaker said His Excellency the President have sought renewed efforts in building a future worthy of our children and the future generation dreams and aspirations. The Ministry of Forestry intends to ensure that the forest ecosystem we leave behind contribute to achieving our people's dreams and aspirations. Honourable Speaker said, I'm also inclined to respond to the social media comments by Honourable Nico Nawaikura on the work of the government. I wish to remind him that he had the opportunity to assist with Fiji's transformation into a thriving economy when he was with the Tauke Land Trust Board. Unfortunately, he did almost nothing for the pine and mahogany industry. He should be ashamed of himself. I also noted that Honourable Ratu Suliano Matanitumua was part of the group of Fijians protesting one of the Honourable Prime Minister's recent visit to Australia. He too needs to be ashamed of himself for supporting and associating himself with the people swelling in the streets of Sydney and who, more importantly, do not add value to Fiji's progress as a nation. In conclusion, Honourable Speaker said, in response to His Excellency the President's befitting address, I now take responsibility on behalf of the Fiji First government for ensuring that the children of Fiji and our future generations enjoy the God-given natural resources in an environmentally and economically sustainable manner. The Ministry of Forestry will leave no stones unturned to deliver the Fiji First government's mandate towards a sustainable forestry sector. Thank you and Dhanavad.